What is the dark web? You likely spend most of your time online, scanning headlines, reading celebrity gossip, checking your bank accounts, Twitter or Facebook to stay in touch with your friends and the world. But do you know that there is an entire world online that's mostly hidden from our view? And it is known as the dark web. The dark web gets plenty of headlines thanks to the scary name. Basically, this part of the web is made up of hidden sites that you can't find through a conventional search engine. Dark websites? No, not the kind you are used to. We are talking about websites on the dark web. They use encryption software to supply anonymity for his or her users and to cover their location. That is why the dark web is home to a host of illegal activities. You will find everything ranging from illegal drugs, ammunitions, missiles, child pornography, gambling, and even human trafficking. If you tap into the deep web, that's technically correct. But you don't need to confuse the dark web with the deep web. The deep web is also hidden in a way, but it's the home to benign sites. People's password-protected email accounts, the intranet travel by businesses, the web checking account pages of consumers, government database, and the personal site that require user to type in login name and password. Basically, these are the pages that are not indexed on Google, as they are not available to everyone on the internet. Like CBSE's website is available on Google for everyone, as its maker made it searchable. So it's a part of the normal web. But your mark sheet inside the very same site can only be accessed by you after you log in. It is not searchable on Google. That is the part of deep web. So inaccessible or private section of a website are part of the deep web. Again, for example, the data your bank sites have. But then some developers make whole sites private, meaning that they don't index them on Google at all. That is dark web. But still, the question is, should you access the dark web? Warning you beforehand, as the dark web can be dangerous, and if you want to explore it for illegal activities, you could face prosecution and jail time, depending on where you visit. You could also be exposed to scammers and cyber criminals who could attempt to infect your device with malware or steal your personal information. But the dark web is not just a means of carrying criminal activities without being digitally traced. There are legitimate reasons to go to this potential dangerous region of the online world. For instance, citizens who fear political prosecution from their governments might use the hidden dark web to speak with another. Many journalists use the dark web to put out stories or to make sure that their sources can remain anonymous. ProPublica, an investigative news organization, runs its own site on the dark web. Even Facebook has its own dark website for users whose countries have banned the social media network. And of course, as we noted earlier, the dark web is also famous for black market, drug sales, illegal firearm sales, and illicit pornography. That's because the sites that structure the dark web rely upon a pair of anonymity software services, Tor and I2P. These programs encrypt web trafficking, hiding the IP addresses of the servers who host these dark websites. This means that you can visit the sites, but it's difficult to figure out where these sites are hosted or who is hosting them. This anonymity makes the dark web attractive for criminals. But if I'm not visiting the dark web for hiring a hitman, what really happens on the platform that makes it dangerous for people like me to use it? Well, the dark web does deserve some of its seedy reputation. A 2016 report checked out 5,205 live sites on the dark web and located that 2,723 illicit content. But what does this mean? It means that visitors to the dark web can buy and sell guns, drugs, counterfeit money, and other people's Netflix account, MasterCard numbers, and much more. You can also find softwares that you can use to access other people's computer. But again, you can get hacked before you can hit install on these downloads. And as the dark web isn't just for criminals, you will also come across online versions of books that have long been out of print. A collection of political reporting from mainstream news sites and several sites run by whistleblowers looking to expose corporate and government corruption. By the way, dark web wouldn't be nearly as successful if it wasn't for Bitcoin and other sorts of cryptocurrency. Why? Because this type of virtual currency allows people to form sales or purchase items without knowing each other's identity. So naturally, cryptocurrencies and the dark web are match made in heaven. Now you might think that it's safe to shop for items from the dark web as long as you are employing a sort of online currency that keeps you anonymous. But this is not necessarily the case. Remember, the anonymity of the dark web is very attractive to scammers and criminals. There is no guarantee that these thieves won't scam you, even though you are making use of virtual currency. Maybe the items you pay for won't arrive, or maybe the scammers will send you something you didn't order. Many of the sites on the dark web don't accompany much protection, so you cannot always be sure if the hitman you hired failed or didn't even show up. So remember, always buy drugs from your local dealer. Okay, that's not my advice. What's yours? Mine? If you are using the dark web, be mindful about what you click on or whom you interact with, so you do not inadvertently view or access questionable or illegal content. There are also other reasons more related to finding things you shouldn't have. Many people talk about their negative experiences on dark web. We can't vouch for the honesty of such posts, but here is what some of them said. One person wrote on Quora that he browsed on dark web for almost 1 year before a horrible experience made him quit. Let's say it involved a video of someone being hurt. Another person found a forum called Weird Stuff, which involved people talking about hurting others, about gore, and talking about depraved things such as wanting to ear humans. Yet another person came across a video where 50 people were watching human bodies getting cooked while making obscene comments, which made him sick to his core. So unless you want to get traumatized, we suggest you not to give dark web a chance. Remember, curiosity killed the cat. You may see something that you might not be able to forget. But the question remains whether internet freedom and privacy for legitimate and sometimes life-saving reasons are worth protecting while this vast criminal underworld operates alongside it with dark web. So what do you guys think? With all this in mind, what's your opinion of spending some time on dark web? Please let us know in the comment section below. And do not forget to share and subscribe. Bye, hasta la vista. Tada. Tada, tada. Tada. Scanning headlines, reading celebrity gossip. Gossip hai gossip.